Hello friends, today I have a lovely kitchen towel for you. I was inspired for this because my kitchen towel kept falling on the floor, and who wants to dry their hands on a dirty towel that's been on the floor? So I wanted something, let's get it up there so you can see all of it, that would stay on the towel bar. And I just didn't see a pattern out there that I loved, so I decided to make one. All right, so you're going to need some worsted weight cotton yarn for this and your H hook. So grab your stuff and let's go. All right, to get started with this one, again, we're going to use a worsted weight cotton yarn, and I'm using Dishie by Knit Picks, but any worsted weight cotton yarn would work. And I'm also using my trusty H hook 5mm. For this one, gauge is not super important. But if you do tend to crochet loosely, the linen stitch does tend to stretch out a little bit when we get to that. So we're going to start, just do a slip knot and get our yarn on the hook. And we are going to start by chaining 45 stitches, or 45 chains. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Now these don't have to be super loose. You just don't want them so tight that your work curves. Working into any part of this chain that you prefer. I like working into the back bumps since we're not working a border on this one. But any part of the chain that you want to work in is fine as long as you're consistent. And we're going to start with the second chain of the loop, or sorry, the second chain, and we're going to work single crochets across so that you will end up with 44 single crochets. All right, we've got our 44 stitches, and we're going to go ahead and turn and chain 1. And then we are going to single crochet in each stitch across. And we're going to do this for 5 rows. So you'll end up with 5 rows of single crochet stitches. At the end of each row, you'll turn and then chain 1 as you go across. And this just kind of gives us our stabilizing top. So in this stage, if you have a really wide towel bar and you need a little bit more space for your towel, you can always do more rows of single crochet if you want. All right, here we have finished our 5 rows of single crochet. And then just like we have been, we're going to turn and chain 1. And this is the row where we're going to make our hanging loop. So we're going to start out just like we have been, and we're going to single crochet across 15 stitches. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, now in order to make our hanging opening, we are going to chain 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we are going to skip 14 stitches. So we're going to come back down here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And in this next stitch, we're going to single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet across, which will give us 15 stitches on this side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And then we have here, and you don't need to worry about this being super loose or super tight because you'll have enough space here to do the flip through and have the towel anchor itself. But you have 15 and 15 and then this gap of 14 here. So now we're going to turn and chain 1, and then we are going to single crochet across. 1 single crochet in each of the first 15 stitches, and then we are going to single crochet in each chain as well. So we've got our single crochet in each stitch across there. Now we need to make sure that you're getting a single crochet in each chain. And again, for this, wherever is easiest for you to see in this chain, as long as you make sure you get 14 stitches in there. And sometimes it gets a little tricky if it twists around on you. There's 1. 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, and 14. Right? And then you are going to single crochet in each stitch across so that you have the 15 there. And then just with this one, make sure you're getting in the actual stitch there so that you get those 15 stitches. Because when you're all said and done, you should have 44 stitches again. And 15. So now we have a row of single crochet stitches all the way across. Now we're going to switch to doing the linen stitch for the rest of the towel. I like the linen stitch because it's a little bit more open, still very absorbent with the cotton yarn, but it dries much more quickly. And one thing to keep in mind is that the linen stitch will stretch a little bit. So when you're thinking about the length of your towel, take that into consideration. But to get started with the linen stitch, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, and then we're going to skip the second stitch and single crochet in the third stitch. And then chain 1, skip, and single crochet. And we're going to repeat that across to the last 2 stitches. And then now that was I guess it's the last 3 stitches, we're going to do our single crochet into this second to last stitch here. This time do not chain 1, but just single crochet in that next stitch. That gives the edges just a little bit more stability. And that is your setup round for the linen stitch. Now we're going to turn and chain 1 again, and then this row will be the repeat that you do for every single row for the rest of the towel. One thing to keep in mind is that the linen stitch, like I said, will stretch lengthwise, but it does tend to draw in a little bit. So if you notice as you go along that it's a little bit more narrow than your single crochet here at the top, that's okay. That's perfectly normal. All right, so we've chained 1, we're going to single crochet in this first stitch, chain 1, and then we're going to find that chain 1 space from the previous row, and you're going to single crochet into that space, chain 1, and then you're single crocheting in the spaces across this row, single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet into the space, chain 1, all the way across. And like I said, this is the row that you will repeat for the rest of the towel. And we're just going to do this across, and then when we get over to the end, you're going to single crochet in that last space, and then do not do the chain 1, but then single crochet just in that last stitch. I'll show you when we get over there. All right, here we are. We've got the last space and the last single crochet here, so you're going to single crochet in that last space, and then do not chain 1, but single crochet in the last stitch, so you have 2 right together there. And then you're just going to repeat that row for however long you want your towel. I like to do about 67 rows is what I found works for my space that I have it, but you can make yours longer or shorter, whatever works for your space. And you're just going to repeat this same row until you have the length you want. All right, here we are. I have done about 67 rows on this one to get it the length that I wanted it to be, but whatever length you decide is great. And we're at the end of our row here, and I've cut off a tail, and then I'm just going to do a slip stitch and pull it tight to finish this off. And then you're going to weave in your ends. You'll weave in your foundation edge as well, which will be pretty straightforward, but I wanted to go over how I like to weave in for the linen stitch, because if you just go under the stitches on the last row, it really isn't that secure because you've got the spaces in there, the chain 1 spaces. So for linen stitch, I like to alternate between rows. So I do the last row, but then I'll come down and grab from the row before and just kind of zigzag back and forth here. So kind of go down there and then come back up and just do that for a few stitches. Gets a little wonky sometimes, but I find that really, to me, secures the stitch just a little bit more, not the stitch, but your end. You can also split the yarn a little bit too, and that helps hold it into place a little bit more. So just do a few stitches that way. Get my tail through, and then go back through like you're used to doing, but still zigzagging between the rows like that. And then I like to go back through one more time, just because with something like this that's going to get a lot of hard work, you can never have your ends too secure. And then for this last one, I'm definitely going to just kind of split the yarn there so it's tucked under good. And if you want, you can go back through even another time. It's entirely up to you and how you feel like if you feel like it needs that little extra security, you can always go back through another time. It is going to make that corner just a little smidge bulkier, but that's okay. And there you have it. That is your towel. And then to hang it, you just put it over your bar, and then you pull the end of the towel through this little loop Don't mind my end. I haven't tucked that one in yet. And that's how you hang it. And then your hand towel never falls on the floor again. I hope you enjoy.